In your opinion.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, bud?
Living the dream, buddy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a little early for you. Super dad.
That's my grandfather's mug.
Aw,
Hmm
this is my grandfather's shirt.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
Jordan has never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I don't even know. You know, like when somebody says, I've never seen Jaws, but they know like the da-da, right? Or whatever.
Mhm.
Of
I
course.
don't even know the zeitgeist of this, I guess, if you will. I went at this completely cold. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
Am I the only one that has seen this movie beforehand? Because
Yeah.
you said you didn't, and Sarah also says that she has not seen this movie. You guys
hmm
obviously have seen many other John Hughes movies, but this
hmm
is one that just kind of fell under it. Sarah, were you excited to see this or knew about it at all?
I'd heard about it before. We'd actually talked about it. Oh my gosh, a while ago when I was trying to come up with what is a Thanksgiving movie. You know, you have
Mm,
Halloween movies, you have Christmas movies. What's a Thanksgiving movie?
hmm
And Eric, you had mentioned Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and so that was really my only context for this movie. And I've probably stayed away from it because, controversial opinion, I don't love John Candy. Uh, and so I've never seen it before. But I went in cold as well. But 5 minutes into the movie, we checked it out from the library and sat down and watched it on DVD. And Eric asked, do you know what this movie's about? And I'm like, well, based on what I see on the cover, it's the straight-laced guy, it's the goofy guy trying to get somewhere, and shenanigans occur. The
right.
end. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's a pretty straightforward story. Um, but it was fun.
Yeah. I'm surprised you said library and not book depository. That's what I say.
Jordan.
Hey, Kevin Bacon was in this movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was he randomly doing as a no line New York City? I mean, like, was this pre-fame? No, it wasn't. This was after fame.
Yeah, this is definitely after. He's just taking the role. I don't know if this was a favor to John that he was doing, or if he was just right place, right time doing the cameo.
He's
Gotcha.
credited as Taxi Racer.
That's funny that he's in this. No, for me, this movie is in the same line. Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. If this was a John Hughes one, Uncle Buck.
Oh man, see, this is all the good John Candy roles here too. Yes,
Yeah,
keep going.
yeah. Was it the Great Outdoors one? No, that's not. That's a John Candy. That's not the John Hughes one.
You're doing John Candy stuff now. Yeah.
Okay, because these, I'm just saying, like Uncle Buck, and this one was in that category where it came out. I was too busy worrying about Rugrats and Doug and Ren and Stimpy. I didn't care about this movie. You know what I mean? Like it didn't. It had nothing fun. Like Breakfast Club had the younger kids and had the angst, so that was something to keep my attraction. This is just two grumpy men, no pun intended, with the movie.
Mhm.
That never interest young Jordan. So that's why I never seen the movie. I don't like the movie. I'm just gonna come right out and say that.
This was a bit
Oh.
more of the adult themed than a lot of his other ones that were a bit more playful. But at the same part, like John Hughes has that he did Mr. Mom, right? He
Mhm,
did 16 Candles and Breakfast Club. So he's building kind of like this theme of being a bit more comical, and
mhm.
this tends to be a bit more on like a dark comedy drama. It has its ups and downs, but I would say it's a bit more of a black comedy, right?
No, I say it's a pretty boring, straight lace point A to point B story, really. I mean, we've seen this movie before.
You've seen this movie before because other movies have taken from this movie.
And I would also argue that other movies came out before this too. They were like this as well. I mean,
You
this ain't
have
this
any
movie didn't.
examples?
I
I
mean,
don't mean to cut you off there, but
I'm
I was trying
sure.
to find it actually.
I'm sure Sarah and I could put our heads together, and there's something out there. John Huston sit there and go, "You know what's been never been done before? A movie set on Thanksgiving where a guy's trying to get home to his family, but shenanigans ensue."
Thanksgiving being the key word there. We've done this at Christmas all the time. Thanksgiving, not so much.
Fair enough. I guess that's the only difference is it takes place Thanksgiving.
Again, the black comedy of it is those real situations where
Mm,
Steve Martin, who are you are as the viewer were expected to kind of relate to a little bit more because it's his story. He's trying to get home and everything is just going wrong. And we've had those days where no matter what you do, no matter how hard you're trying, I'm just living my life and things are just going wrong. And it just builds up more and more. That pessimism just kind of builds a bit more until eventually it overflows and you just spill over. But then you have these other characters like a John Candy, who I think is perfect for this role, where the eternal optimist. He's
Hmm.
just happy-go-lucky. If it hits him on his chin, he just smiles and keeps on going. Oh, don't worry. At least I didn't get a body shot, kind of a thing. And just maybe it's a bad example, but he just moves along. He tries to find the good in people and really just say, hey, well, I know this guy here. He owes me a favor. Oh, well, it could always be worse. Oh, don't worry about it. We'll just get out of the next one, kind of thing, and just chipper about it. And it's not until later on that you realize he's the optimist because he's already had his darkest day.
Which is why I wanted to talk about later because I was
Hmm.
going to shock you guys later. But so since we're doing the buddy series, right, for this year's retrospective, I always try to look at, well, since Eric and I are buddies, that's kind of the foundation of this series, right?
Yeah.
So I always like to see Sarah. I'm going to ask this question every time. I asked it last time.
Jordan, you're
Yeah,
John Candy.
that's what I thought. Exactly. Eric was so Steve Martin because I was watching. I'm just like, man, some of these things would happen to Eric, and all of a sudden, this random guy comes into his life and just screws it up, and they become best friends.
Exactly. A little bit more
That's
of the extreme situation, of course.
right.
So, out of all the John Hughes movies, then, is this really, for both of you, ranking kind of in the lower part of it? I mean, not to compare, his complete filmography, but, you have National Lampoon, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, of course, is probably my top. Curly Sue,
Um,
Beethoven. Oh, Baby's
so,
Day Out. That's a fantastic movie.
Flubber,
You,
101 Dalmatians. Oh, he did a screenplay for these. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. There's sort of your classic John Hughes that I think of, which would be like Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller. I enjoyed those ones. All of his other ones are just sort of for me.
Yeah, I mean, it stands the test of time, though, right? Ferris Bueller is obviously going to be one that
Hmm.
is there. It's cemented its role in Hollywood, and that's going to be forever. That's a star on the Walk of Fame right there. And going off with everything else, all the other like the lampoons and that he's made, but yeah, it's I like this movie. It is a step in the other direction from his others, and I think that's maybe why I liked it.
I will spoil my stuff. I absolutely hated this movie until the final scene where everything gets revealed about John Candy's past, and I was like, oh, I like this movie. This movie's probably large back now because it all makes sense, and now I want to watch it again. And the reason why is because he's that nobody in real life is that happy-go-lucky and cheerful and knows. I mean, this guy knows everybody, right?
He's a salesman.
He's a
Yeah.
traveling salesman. He knows everybody. So then it's like, oh my God, he's a traveling salesman, which means he was home, which means he was not home a lot, which means he was always away from his family. He didn't get a chance to. This is his regret. All these emotions come into it, right? And then when he spilled the beans at the end about what happened to his past, I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this movie again. This is interesting because I'm going to see it from a different perspective. This isn't Steve Martin's story. This is John Candy's story.
Hmm.
That's why I completely turned.
It does hit a little bit more when you watch the second time. More, I would say, in the first hotel scene when they have to share the room,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about when Steve Martin snaps.
But John Candy takes out the picture of the woman, and I was like, okay, something's going on with this. And then when he said, I haven't been home in years, it was like, got it.
Yeah.
I know how this ends.
It's
Right.
that true to form speech where,
Yeah.
as much as Steve Martin doesn't like him, he's sure in himself. I like me. My wife likes me. The people around me, like I know that I'm doing something right. I know that I'm living my life correct because of the responses that I see from these people. You're the outlier. You're the one that's different, and that's on you. That's not on me.
But here's the thing, though. Was John Candy really different? I think Steve Martin's just a total ass in this movie. Really, I mean, like, I understand, right? Because we're not gonna go scene by scene, but at the beginning of the movie, he wants to get out of this meeting so he can go catch his flight, and then chaos ensues, right?
Hmm.
John Candy didn't have to be nice to this guy at all, right? Like, the John Candy just so happened just to be the guy that was around there, and he was being very, very polite the entire time.
But at the same part, Steve Martin was willing to just yuck it up to bad luck and move on as well when they were waiting for the plane. And
Right.
he's realized that, okay, hey, you're the one who stole my cab. Okay, don't worry about it. Just let's just move on. And then
Mm,
fate keeps on pairing them together,
Hmm.
and
mm.
you could tell that all that Steve Martin wants to do. I don't want to deal with this. This is so much extra. I just want to get home. I just want to, by any means necessary, by planes, train, or automobile, and he's trying his hardest just to do the easiest thing that we could think of, and that's just to get home. But
Did the
life is throwing it in his way.
He was in New York City, right, in the beginning?
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, I mean, like, after what, they went from New York City and then they stopped where, in Kansas, the plane, because of the weather?
Missouri,
Missouri,
I think.
which is not that far from Chicago.
No.
It was it like LaGuardia?
Well, no, I'm asking just from geography standpoint, because again, if you're going to think logically, then this movie doesn't work. But couldn't you just
Oh,
I-
wait it?
Wichita, Kansas. He went from
Okay.
LaGuardia to Wichita, so
Still
New
not
York.
as far away as. Wait a minute, though. That doesn't make any sense. Why would they? Oh, because they said that there was a huge snowstorm in Chicago. That's
Yeah.
why they had to.
Yeah, so they go to Kansas and then they take the train to Missouri. From Missouri to Southern Illinois, they take a bus. Halfway
St.
through
Louis.
Illinois, they do a rental car and then they do the milk truck to get to Chicago.
Couldn't they just do a rental car in Kansas and just drive? I mean, I'm.
No, because there were no rental cars.
Oh, that's right.
No
'cause he
rental
was-
cars and no hotels.
That's right, because he was swearing at that lady too.
I was shocked at that scene when Steve Martin just starts busting out F this and F that and
Right.
just going to town. I was like, oh, I thought this was a family movie. It
No
was
way.
not a family movie.
That's
by any
John Hughes-
why I think it resonates with me, just because that's a real moment. That's one of those
Mhm.
where I think, in a moment, a lot of us would love to just let it out, vent it. But of course, common courtesy would suggest that we don't. And this is just one of those moments. It's a slice of life moment.
Well,
I lash
and-
out like that all the time. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then Edie McClurg, who does her typical, um, you know, little spot in a movie where she's just the like annoying neighbor or the annoying person at the airport or car dealership. Oh, honey, I can't help you today. Sort of person.
That's a
So
good
fun.
impression.
She's
I like that impression.
Oh, thank you.
that Midwestern, everyone knows it, right?
I know she's not the woman in Office Space, but she would be perfect as
Oh
the.
yeah,
Thank you for
just a
calling. Just,
morning,
just,
just a
just a
moment.
moment.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
that would be perfect for her. No, I was shocked that Steve Martin was swearing like that too. But I don't know. I guess I've never seen Steve Martin movies that often. We also cut back to his children, and the boy looked familiar too to me.
Yeah, it's Matthew Lawrence.
That's Matthew Lawrence.
Why do I?
A
well,
very young the Lawrence brothers, who were very popular in Disney movies when we were kids. There was two older brothers and then the little one,
There's Joey Lawrence, Matthew Lawrence,
Mhm.
and then the
That's who
younger
that is.
brother
the
one.
other one.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
You know, what? I wish that I lived in the '80s at my age now. You know why?
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 Well, I'm just skipping all over the place, but it's like Steve Martin. What? He's not an executive, right? He's just some guy who works for a company, right? What was that? Toy company? He works for something. He's not some like high
It's
price.
like an ad exec.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he's like an
advertising.
exec. When he
Mhm.
finally gets home at the end, it's like, look at this mansion. Look at this.
Typical John
beautiful-
Hughes, right
Yeah.
there.
Home
There's
Alone.
a theory that this movie is in the Ferris Bueller world, by the way, because
Oh.
Ferris Bueller's dad is in the New York office.
Mm,
Ah,
okay.
okay, but Ferris
With-
Bueller is in Chicago. Okay.
Correct, and Steve Martin also was in New York, going
Lives
to
in Chicago.
So obviously they work for maybe the same company, and they have to go to New York all the time. And I there was a yeah.
That's a fun
I'm
little
not gonna Google that and read that theory for you, but yeah, it
Right.
was something based off of what he had said the character had said in the Ferris Bueller's movies on his way back home. I don't know.
There was one scene earlier on when the two meet where they stay at the hotel room, and I actually kind of like believe it as like it could happen scenario where Steve Martin goes to bed, and they have the funny odd couple with the sleeping arrangements, and all that slapstick stuff. But one thing that's very true is like they go to get breakfast or something the next day, and like both of their money is gone and stolen. They were accusing each other of it.
Hmm.
Well, not each other. Steve Martin was accusing John Candy, and I was
Yes.
like, I would so do that right off the bat, right? Be like, hey, where's the money? Where's my money? And
Yeah,
then
of
they
course.
both got robbed. And the money that he said he carried, what Steve Martin said he had like $700.
$700.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. Just to
It is a lot of money
do,
in
did
cash to just be going from New York to Chicago.
right. This was the age of credit cards, right? People, I mean, right? They could have just
I think cash was still more prevalent than
Cash is
I was going to
always
say back
king.
then. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but they had the machine where you go.
Well, yeah, but
It's
it's still easier to pay in cash.
yeah.
I guess so.
I mean, cash is still always king. And then I don't think not every place was taking credit cards.
No, don't leave home without it though.
Well, now.
Mm. Okay, so this movie's bland, and I don't want to make this a short episode. So, what else? What else? I mean, because it is literally just guys try to get home, runs into this guy, and shenanigans ensue. I mean, talk to
It's
me here,
it's
because the end is what I want to talk about the most. But talk to me here.
well, the other part of it is in the downplay or the any part that they are down on their luck on. It seems that John Candy Dell, the character's name, is the one who kind of bails them out. He knows the guy. He knows the favor. He knows the trick of the trade. And as much as the downfall that Steve Martin wants to put onto Dell, Dell's the one that bails him out usually.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Dell, which is amazing. He makes his living off of selling shower curtain rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found that just absolutely hilarious. And yeah, I actually know I would say that a lot of the bad things that happen is because of Steve Martin, right?
Again, like he is the eternal Dell's the eternal optimist compared to the pessimist. Very much your Chris Farley, your David Spade. He's thinking on his feet. He sells shower curtains as earrings to get by.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That was such a good hustle, right? He was like, "Oh, this is Egyptian, blah blah blah," or whatever he said, and people were like, "Oh yeah, let's do it."
And at the same part, like that's I think the character of it is no matter how often Dell's bailing him out, Neil, excuse me, the Steve Martin character is still like offending him and still being this kind of this dirtbag to him a bit more. And I think it really helps the relationship that we see a bit more just because when you have that moment where Dell realizes, or I'm sorry, where Neil realizes, like, oh, wait a minute, it all comes crashing down. After, by the way, he gets what he wants, right? When he's on the train home, and
Right.
he just is almost kind of showing face to Dell, just be, okay, yeah, oh, it was good to see you, type of thing. All right, thanks for everything. All right, bye, hug. Gets on the train, and then he's home free. He's at the finish line. He sees it, and then when all of that worry goes away, he can register what just happened, and I think that's when the John Hughes feelings come in a bit more, and you analyze the entire trip and be like, oh, wait a minute, and I think that's a big part of it. But a lot of the movie, I think I understand why people would be not too receiving on it, is just because it's a lot of just bad luck for about an hour and a half.
Right. And when we get to the end of the review, because that's what the big stuff is, we find out that John Candy says that he's homeless. I don't think he's actually homeless, right?
No,
Like he just why was he in
avoiding.
New York? He's avoiding, right? So his wife died 8 years prior.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know if he had any children? Was that established?
I don't think so, but I think you can assume that he didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so his wife died. We don't know what she died of. Doesn't matter. His wife's dead. So he's been traveling the country for 8 years to avoid the realization of her death.
Mhm.
That's what's going on.
Yeah.
So, but see, now this is where Jordan gets crazy. Where's the mother? Where why was he in New York? Just because? Like, I mean, what? It was just a happenstance. He was in New York.
Coincidence
Why are any of
to
them in New
make a
York? Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Gotcha. So then he just wanted to chum along with Steve Martin because give him something to do. Like, what?
I think he was heading to Chicago.
I think he felt guilty initially as well too for stealing the cab. And this is a guy who is more bothered by somebody not liking him than well
Mhm.
anything else, and his money getting stolen, his car catching on fire, right? I mean, just the series of everything, flight cancellations, overbooking of everything. He's more bothered that this person doesn't like him. That speaks a lot to the character.
John Candy's bothered that this guy doesn't like him.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Speak-
he doesn't want any enemies. He feels that, right, like the time spent on that he is left here, it should be, giving people, I don't know, joy maybe. And he just feels guilty about somebody who just doesn't like him. There are those people that exist, right? People who go out of their way just to not
yes,
make an
our
enemy.
relationship.
Yeah.
So I have another question.
There
At the
you
end
go,
of the movie, you're welcome. At the end of the movie, when Steve Martin takes him to his house for Thanksgiving, the classic thing, the movie ends. I mean, do you guys think that John Candy goes back to his home, or do you think he starts traveling the country again? Kind of like a what happens after the credits roll scenario.
Interesting.
I'd be curious what kind of home he has.
Does he have a home?
Right. When he says he's homeless, if you're traveling 363 days a year, why have a house for that extra day? If you're just living out of hotels all the time, and maybe he's just throwing himself into work so that he doesn't have to have that place where he comes home alone.
Well,
So
I
maybe
think
I don't know. Maybe he buys the house across the street from Steve Martin.
yeah,
That would be good.
I think that Dell never knew how to properly grieve, and
Mhm.
this was an escape. This was his way of saying, I don't need to go home, because if I go home, it's going to be that memory of my wife. If
Mhm.
I do the things that remind me of her, it's going to just bring it back. So I might as well just stay on the road and pretend like I'm just away and she's still at home waiting for me, rather than the horrible, the morbid truth, horrible truth of it, where she's gone. So I'd like to think that when he is invited to this home, it's maybe the first time in 8 years that has any sort of familiar part of a family.
Mhm.
Maybe he can grieve properly now and he can start again.
Okay. Yeah, see, this is why I said to myself when I'm watching the movie, boring, 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 reveal at the end, oh, this movie's probably large because there's a lot more that we can talk about, right? Because all the shenanigans ensue is fun and silly and slapstick and ha ha ha. But then knowing that this guy's avoiding, this guy's traveling, that one kind of hit me a little bit because it was like, oh, that's interesting. So
Can we
there's a
talk
lot
about
more.
Could we talk about the cameos in here?
Yes, let's talk about the cameos.
So one of my favorite parts is the car, when obviously after they burn the car and it's torched and they're driving it on the road and they get pulled over.
Mhm.
Who is it? Is it Dan Aykroyd that pulls them over?
Was that it? No.
Oh no,
No.
am I thinking of Canadian Bacon? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize whoever pulled them over.
Oh, it was Michael McKean,
Okay.
who is from
Oh.
SNL, yeah, and from John Candy's troupe of, I think he was in that whole Eugene Levy kind of Rick Moranis group, not the SCTV, but whatever troupe they were in.
He was in Clue. This is Spinal Tap.
Yeah, it's famous actor Michael McKean. He was also in Better Call Saul. I think people know him from there. But do you think this vehicle is safe? Oh yeah, I think I don't know why that cracks me up. I think it's just John Candy's delivery of just acting like
yeah.
nothing's wrong. Oh, I don't.
Oh, it's just
nothing here, officer.
Yeah. I guess there's a lot of like memories, like not memories, but there's a lot of shenanigans that I would think that would happen if you and I were in that situation. You're like, hey guys, what's going on with the burnt car? What burnt car? What are you talking about? This is European.
It is a good bit that John Candy does because again, I'm reminded in Canadian Bacon when the Michael Moore movie when they were having the big truck and they wrote Canada sucks and all the bad stuff on Canada, and they're driving through Canada and they get pulled over by Dan Aykroyd. And he's just like, hey, you know why I pulled you over? Oh, no, I don't see why, officer. It's like, oh, because we have a law here in Canada that for any English, you have to write in French as well, too. So
that's hilarious. The last little joke for me with this burnt car cop scene remind me of Dumb and Dumber. Pull over. What? Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for asking. I was kind of thought that with John Candy with this. Okay, help me out here, guys. Help me out.
Do you know who was originally slated to play these two characters?
I do not know. Tell me.
All right. John Hughes originally wanted Tom Hanks for Steve Martin's role, and John Travolta for the role of Del Griffith.
Oh my God.
What do you think? Tom Hanks and John Travolta instead of John Candy and Steve Martin?
I don't know if back then John Travolta could play aloof. Now John Travolta.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think John Travolta has the comedic chops to play this role.
Really?
And like the lovable
reverse it.
Comedic chops.
Yeah, maybe reverse it, but at the same part, he played Welcome Back, Kotter.
Right, but he was also in Michael. Let's move on from John Travolta. I mean, come on.
It's your big one there.
I'm just saying.
So is it really like through all this, was there redemption for you as well, Sarah, at the end of this? Just like Jordan was saying, through this chore of a movie for an hour of watching the misfortune of events happen to these characters. Was there any part at the end where you're just like, okay, I get it? Or I know it was easy for you to call the entire time.
It was. Like I said, I had figured out something was wrong with the wife pretty early. And I mean, it's not a bad movie, but I wouldn't say it was my favorite one. But I also wouldn't say like it needed to be redeemed at the end for me. Because I thought, it was a solid 80s movie, buddy movie. We've seen, like Jordan said, we've seen it before.
Yeah.
But
again, a lot of movies took from it. Did you stick around for the post-credit scene? I think we turned it off before the post-credit scene.
There's a post-credit scene?
Yep, that's right. Marvel stole all of it from post-credits.
I believe it. What was the post-credit scene?
Post-credit is the ad executive, Mr. Bryant, still in his office with the Thanksgiving dinner in front of him, and still
staring at the ads.
Still deciding on
That's
the poster.
Funny. Okay, so tell me about some more shenanigans because we're only 30 minutes in here. What else we got?
I mean, but I don't want to say that that's it, but that's kind of
it.
It's kind of what it is. It's just again just a one bad thing rolling into the other, and I anything else I think is just kind of the smaller part of the bigger theme. It's
right.
This is all just it would be better written as a short story.
No, I actually kind of disagree with you on that. I mean, I think this movie's a good, $130 is good. It's just if I would see this movie when it came out, maybe my opinion would be different. You know what I mean? But because we've seen so many movies like this, like we established in the beginning of the episode, I was very full of the arms. Been here, done this, kind of thing.
The reason why, though, is because they're taking the small thing and they stretch it. So a good example would be when the first time that Neil was, and they landed in Wichita, and they have to have that long line of him on the phone trying to find a hotel or a car rental, and that's a stretched out thing. Other movies would make it quick. One line, hang up the phone.
Right.
I can't believe it. And throw away, move on to the next scene, to the next situation. But I feel like they really show kind of how desperate people are in that area because they show the line, they show the looks on people's faces, they show the smaller interactions through those cameos that we see through a lot of them, like the taxi driver, for instance.
Right.
Like that's a very awkward situation where you're in a I don't know, a hoopty. What would you call that? The thing's got hydraulics on it. Like it's it's a
It
car.
was something.
What did
Yeah.
Steve Martin pay that yuppie like $70 to get the cab?
Oh, in
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was
starts like, "Oh, I'll give you $20." Well, if you'll give me 20, you'll take 50. Oh,
Yeah.
what about 7? Yeah, I think it was like $70.
like $70. Like this guy has a lot of money. He has $700 in cash. He's flying from New York to Chicago. He gives some guy $70, and he lives in a mansion. And that house probably cost 30,000.
That's like
Back
giving
then,
almost $200 today.
Yeah, yeah.
it's
It
it's
was
it's
like
a lot. Yeah.
it was
Uh,
a lot.
but right, so that's small. And while that's going on, we get the taxi cab. It's actually being the start of it, right? Is Dell
Right.
loading up and having
Mhm.
just you know, what does he know? These two people are just having a conversation on the side of the road. He's a available
He was
cab.
innocent. He was innocent. Okay, so question for both of you. Put yourselves in the situation. The beginning happens to you, right? To a certain degree.
Mhm.
You get a cab, somebody takes it, and then you just so happen to see that person that stole your cab at the airport, right? You move on. Didn't they sit next to each other too in the airplane?
Yep.
They
Right?
did.
That happens to you too. And then, because of the weather,
By the
blah,
way, they
blah.
sit next to the old man from Home Alone, where Kevin's mom has to bargain plane tickets, the dangly
Okay.
ones. You know, the remember
Well,
his
and that's
throwaway line. Yeah.
I still would have said no. Maybe that's just because of this day and age. I'm curious what you guys would have said. So you then go to a phone and you try to get a hotel room and you can't because of everything going on. And this guy that's been around you this whole day, it's like, hey, I know a guy. We can get a cab together and we can go get a hotel room. I don't think I still would have gone with that guy. I think I would have stayed at the airport.
I probably would have.
Right?
Well, the cut to the man sleeping in the airport
Mhm.
next to the trash can, which is not the best. I've slept in an airport before. It's
Yeah.
not the best.
No.
Well,
So,
also, what's not the best is waking up the next day in a bathtub full of ice and your kidney's gone. So, sleep next to a
well,
trash can.
more, it would be more that something got stolen from you in the airport, which is ironic because you got something stolen from him in the hotel. Which again, that shower scene, by the way, it's like what person doesn't go in the bathroom, the shower, and like prep everything beforehand?
You got to
What?
prep.
Yeah, exactly. So you're surprised that there's no towels for you. It's like, wait, would you just jump in there, just not even looking for a towel?
Right.
Like that's the
You
first
got to
thing you
prep.
do. You gotta, yeah.
You have
I
to prep. You have to make sure everything's good.
look in the sink. You just gotta be like, oh, good. There's a sink full of water. I'm not gonna check. It's full of socks. You didn't see that?
Dirty
You
underwear.
didn't smell that? Yeah.
Was that John Candy's underwear? Was that what that
Yes, it
was?
was.
Some whitey
Nice.
tighties.
Yep.
Right.
First thing in the morning. Best way to wash your face. Ugh.
And
I'll wake you up.
and hey, I can't wait till hey, you're almost 40, dude. You get to get a pair of those now.
The whitey tighties?
He's a dad. You've been wearing them for years, right, Jordan?
No. It's 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dad. When you're a dad, you get dad shoes. When you hit
Mm.
40, you get the whitey tighties. You know what's great about the whitey tighties, Sarah? They're
What?
They're reversible.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then when you're 70, you get the gray shoes with the Velcro.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Right, Eric, don't you
You
turn
already wear slip-on shoes.
correct?
Well,
but
yeah,
it's
my best friend Jordan here got me some Hey Dudes, and I was
That's
rocking
right, and
those
they're
out.
amazing.
I was rocking those yesterday, bud.
Yes, he
Yes,
was.
he was. Don't worry, Sarah, you're gonna get a pair yourself.
They make Hey Dudes for women.
Yeah.
Hey
Yes.
Dudettes?
That's amazing. No, so when you turn 40 this year, right? You're turning 40 this year. Prepare to get
Yes.
a pair of
I am.
whitey
She's
tidy
not. Yeah.
Yeah, whitey tidy Hanes are coming in the mail for you, bud.
Wow. Yeah,
Just so you know.
that's going to be amazing. I can't wait to show those off every time I bend over to plug something in.
Well, I can just hear you say, Sarah, they're great, they're reversible. So,
Then you
John,
get to start doing your laundry, man.
well, okay. So a question though, um, is this just a stupid gag with the whole underwear in the sink thing, or is this them? Or is this John Hughes trying to tell us still that, hey, this guy is homeless, that kind of thing, or is
Yeah,
this
he's
just a
doing his
gag?
laundry in the sink
It's
Well, why couldn't
it's
he do his laundry at the
because
hotel
he's
laundry?
he's used to, well, not all hotels have laundry. But he's used to just living by himself in a hotel. So like if
Okay.
that's his kind of, at the end of the day when you get to your hotel, you rinse out your socks and undies in the sink, and he just did his thing and went to bed. He wasn't even thinking that, oh yeah, hey, I have to take into account there's this other person here.
And I
Okay.
will say that there actually, if you are traveling for work, there are tricks that you do learn in the hotel. One of them I think is a very common one, that if you, instead of ironing or dry cleaning, that if you were to take your suit and put it in the bathroom and then put
Hmm.
on the shower, it make it
Hmm.
a real hot steamy shower,
Mm,
then it presses the suit for you instead of
Yep.
having, yeah,
Steams out your wrinkles.
yeah.
got it.
So kind of
Well,
little tricks like that that I'm sure the traveling salesman would know.
mm, oh, I think it's time for a popcorn ratings, right?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I was saying a few times in this episode, and I was saying to myself when I watched the movie, I don't like this. Oh, I do like it now because of the ending. I want to give it a large, but in reality, it- it's a medium, in my opinion. It's fine. It is a great Uncle Buck turn on Sunday morning while you're cleaning the house kind of movie. Nothing's really memorable. Like there's no like gags like in like Dumb and Dumber as we established or whatever, like where you remember lines and scenes as much, in my opinion. It's
Okay.
not as it's not as quotable, I would say. Um, I was not impressed with hardly anything that was like, oh, this is a great idea. I just lukewarm with it. It's a medium. It's a medium bag of popcorn. So, Eric, what is your popcorn rating for
Uh,
Planes, Trains, and
I still
Automobiles?
will have to give it a medium. Much as I do like this movie, it's not the best John Hughes movie. It is a very good John Candy movie, I will say. I know
Mm,
that some people in here don't like John Candy, but he has got a lot of range, and this is a movie where he delivers a very poignant line of that speech where he's, I like me, my wife likes me. That's a good line. And the same part of Uncle Buck that John Hughes writes so well, and was the reason why John Candy just nails it. The part in Uncle Buck that I was talking about is there's a part when he's on the couch kind of lamenting to his dog a bit, in saying, "Oh man, Buck, man, you got the life figured out, man. You got, you no kids, you work when you want, you got all this, and oh man, life must be great." And then there came a time when they stopped saying that when you got older, and it's a life that is worth living if you choose to live it rather than have it, I don't know, just kind of just play out just in the repeat of the same day over and over again. And I just like the way John Candy really plays his characters. He's a lovable guy. He really is. And I that laugh, that smile, and the way that he can get serious and angry at the same part. He made this movie for me. I'm not a fan of Steve Martin so much in a lot of his things. I understand why people like him in his comedy, and I think he plays a very typecasted role in this. I'm sorry, Steve Martin. Whereas John Candy just kind of plays a John Candy role. It again. It's not as funny as the other movies, as maybe a National Lampoon. Um, Still, it's a medium. I still want to share the Hughes verse theory with all of you. How like Ferris Bueller's tied in with this movie and Home Alone, and I think they threw in Weird Science in there too. It's a uh, weird thing how they have it written up. I don't know, a la how Pixar is all related to each other.
mhm, mhm.
Just those little things that they throw in there. But yeah, I would agree. This is like a once a year kind of a movie.
Mhm.
Same with Home Alone. Probably I would watch it once a year during a holiday. If it's on TV, maybe. This movie is funny, censored on TV, but that's kind of what it is for me.
All right, Sarah, what is your popcorn rating for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I'm also going to give it a medium. It's a it's not a bad movie. I like Steve Martin. I don't love John Candy, but I see, the point of him in this movie. Uh, it's kind of the expected shenanigans of an 80s buddy comedy trying to get from point A to point B. Um, I don't have a lot to say about it.
I still get choked up when I watch this movie. To be honest with you, I think I got Sarah caught me into that part too, and it's that hotel scene which I would repeat again, and it's the part when Steve Martin walks when he cycles back through the train to find Dell sitting on that bench by himself and his head down, and the way that Dell I'm getting almost choked up just thinking about it right now. The way that he just looks up, I think he just nails that look. John Candy really deserved a lot more, and
Right.
yeah.
No, I thought it was a brilliant move. That's why I turned on the movie in a positive way, because I was just like, oh, this movie's going this direction. Oh, okay. Like, this isn't just some stupid thing. I get it. So that's why I kind of was like, oh, yeah, interesting. I'm digging it. Well, that concludes our second episode for the retrospective of the buddy series. I screwed up last week and I said buddy comedy. It's not a buddy comedy series. It's the buddy series.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because there's gonna be a few that are not so funny. The hilarious comedy of Thelma and Louise.
Hey, I thought it was funny. They could have been flying.
Yeah, that bar scene, buddy. Yeah, that's we're gonna laugh at.
Not your bad Friday night.
What?
I've never seen it.
Oh, you're gonna love this one. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com or wherever you get your podcast from. We are on. Eric and Sarah, thank you so much for joining me. We'll be back next Thursday for another awesome episode. Have a good night.
All right. I think that sounds a lot better.
Oh, it's snowing out.
It was it's bright and sunny over here. Yeah.
It's snowing out. Yeah, I have this Loma Linda's Boss, if you will. And I put coffee in that so I can sit here and talk to you guys about planes, trains. I think there's some automobiles in that.
Yeah.
That's funny. You're letting that coffee breathe a bit. Is that why you have that there?
No, literally because we're doing the show and I'm in the office and I have a whole pot. So I'm like, what am I going to do with this pot? I got to put it in something so I can keep on giving myself refills, if you will.